Shalom to the elect of Israel, to the hopeful elect of Israel, you Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indian, and Haitians. Gotta give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, who teach well, and a sincere salutation to all the arching pushing this truth throughout the four winds of the earth, the entire world, waking up the hope for the elect. And shalom to the Akwaf who are listening and learning. The few sisters who are listening and learning. I'm Isaiah, coming into another lesson in truth, facts, faith, and edification. And first off, I'm going to say this. I got another channel, which is Your Redemption Draweth Nigh, just in case my page go down for good. Because Esau Edom is taking down brother pages. So just in case, and I be forgetting to say that before I do a lesson on my original page. Okay, so just in case, my other page is Your Redemption Draweth Nigh. So Lord willing, be edifying. This is Israelites and Hamites are two separate nations. Now, our people believe that our civilization started with slavery. But before slavery, before we being in Africa, we was in our own land, man, which was Israel, okay, Jerusalem. So you always got newcomers coming in the truth. You got new brothers and sisters waking up every day, okay. So there's just a little something going in on facts, according to what the Bible say, that we are not Africans, we are not Hamites, we are not from the sons of Ham. So when you understand the table of nations in Genesis, I'm gonna start at Genesis chapter 10 and verse 1. And it reads, Now these are the generations of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and unto them were sons born after the flood. Now it say the sons of Japheth, Gomer, and Magog, and Mediel, and Javan, and Tubal, and Meshach, and Tyrus, or Taras, and the sons of Ham were Cush, Mizraim, and Put in Canaan. Right? So you got the sons of, this is about Hamites and Israelites. So you got the sons of Ham, which was Cush and Mizraim, and Put in Canaan. Now we're dealing with the sons of Canaan. So when you go to the sons of Canaan, it say, and Canaan begot Zidon, his firstborn, and Heth, and Jebusite, and Amorite, and the Girgasites, and the Hivites, and the Archite, and the Sinite, and the Arvanite, and the Zemarite, and the Hamite, and the Hamathite, and afterward were the families of the Canaanites spread abroad. Okay, and it say, and the border of the Canaanites was from Zidon, and thus cometh to Gera unto Gaza, as thou goest unto Zidon, to Salakit, unto Sodom and Gomorrah, and Amar, and it says Zebiam, even unto Lashah. So the point I'm making is proving that the Israelites and the Hamites are not the same people. It said these are the sons of Ham after their families, after their tongue, in their country and in their nation. Now I go into the sons of Shem. Now when you go to the sons of Shem, it tell you that you got Arphaxad, right? You got Arphaxad, and unto him it said Eber, which were two sons. The name were Peleg, for in his days was the earth divided, and his brothers. Right, so it go on, and when you go, when you jump down, this is Genesis chapter 11, right, starting at verse 10. It said, "These are the generations of Shem. Shem was 100 years old and begat Arphaxad 2 years after the flood, and Shem lived and he begat Arphaxad 500 years and begat sons and daughters." Right. So when you read, it tell you that, and Eber lived after he begat Peleg, and it goes on. And when you go to Numbers, when you go to Genesis 11:23, it tell you that and Noah lived after he begat Terah 190 years. And he begat sons and daughters. And Terah lived 70 years and begat Abram, Nahor, and Haran. So it's telling you these nations is separate from the sons of Shem and the sons of Ham are separate nations. So the problem with Jake, they don't want to read, man. Okay, it's a lot of names. Some of the names is hard to pronounce, but it doesn't matter, man. When you understand Shem, Ham, and Japheth, when you understand the lineage, you understand how it go, man. So when you go from Cush, when you go from Ham and you go from Shem, because these is the two lineages that these Edomites have put on our people to say that we're Africans. How could we be Africans if Africans were named after, if Africa was named after an Edomite, right? And America was named after an Edomite. So just going back and forth with these nations. Now, when you go to Genesis chapter, start at 17, and 17 and 1. And it reads, and when Abraham was 90 years old, it said, when Abraham was 90 years old and 9, and the Lord appeared to Abram and said unto him, I am the Almighty power, walk before me, and be thou perfect, and I will make my covenant between me and thee, and will multiply thee exceedingly. So when you understand what the Lord did, he made a covenant with Abraham, right? Verse 4 say, verse 3 say, and Abram fell on his face, and power talked with him, saying, as for me, behold, my covenant is with thee, and thou shalt be a father of many nations. Right? Neither shall thy name any more be called Abram, but thy name shall be called Abraham, for a father of many nations have I made thee. Now, real quick, let's go to Exodus chapter 11, verse 7, and it reads, but against the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue against man or beast, that ye may know how that the Lord Yahweh do put a difference between the Egyptians and the Israelites, and Egyptians and Israel. Now, if you know, the biblical name for the Egyptians is Mizraim. So it right here, this is Genesis 10 and 6. And the sons of Ham were Cush and Mizraim, and put in Canaan. Now the Egyptians are Mizraim. Okay, they come from the seed. They come from the son Mizraim of Ham. So going back to Genesis 17, this is about the covenant that the Lord made with Abraham. Okay. Now this is Genesis 17 and verse 7. And I will establish my covenant between me and thee and thy seed after thee in their generations for an everlasting covenant, to be a power unto thee and to thy seed after thee. Who was the seed after Abraham? Abraham had Ishmael and Isaac. Now, let's jump forward, right? This is verse 10, Genesis 17 and 10. This is my covenant which ye shall keep between me and you and thy seed after thee. Every man child among you shall be circumcised. Now, the reason I'm doing this lesson is because I don't know, the spirit was on me when I was at work, and I got another lesson I was gonna do, but this jumped on me because I was thinking about when I was back home, and my aunt husband was telling me that we come from Ham. That's what this devil was telling me. We come from Ham. So I was telling him that we don't come from the Hamites. We come from out of the line of Shem. So he went back and forth with me about we come out of the line of Ham. So the spirit was on me when I left work. So I said I'm just gonna go into it. So this is Genesis 17. Now the Lord in Genesis 17, he make a covenant with Abraham. Okay, his name was Abram, but then he said, your name shall be no more Abram, it should be Abraham, right? The father of many nations. Now, when you go to Genesis 17, and I'm gonna jump at 19 because Abraham, he had a son, okay? His first son was Ishmael. Everybody know that, okay? Everybody know that Abraham's first son was Ishmael. So I'm jumping ahead because everybody know about this is okay, it's a known fact. So this is Genesis 17 and 19. And Power said, Sarah thy wife shall bear thee a son indeed, and thou shalt call his name Isaac, and I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant, and with his seed after him. Okay, so Lord tell Abraham, because he already had Ishmael. Okay, but he's telling him, I'm going to establish my seed with Isaac. So just to go back real quick and tell you right here in Genesis 16, and Abram's wife had no children, right? And she had an handmaid, an Egyptian, whose name was Hagar, and Sarah said unto Abram, Behold, now the Lord hath restrained me from bearing. I pray thee, go in unto my maid, it may be that I may obtain children by her. And Abram hearkened to the voice of Sarah, and Sarah, Abraham's wife, took Hagar, her maid, the Egyptian, after Abram had dwelt 10 years in the land of Canaan, and to her, gave her to her husband Abram to be his wife. And he went in unto Hagar, and she conceived. Okay? So Hagar had a son, Ishmael, right? That's Genesis 16. Now, when you jump back to Genesis 17, in verse 19, it say, and Power said, Sarah, thy wife shall bear thee a son, indeed, and thou shalt call his name Isaac, and I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant, and with his seed after him. Okay, so the Lord tell Abraham right here, Ishmael ain't gonna get the promise. The covenant gonna go to Isaac. Read on, verse 20. And this was the Lord telling Abraham, and as for Ishmael, I have heard thee. Behold, I have blessed him, and will make him fruitful, and will multiply him exceedingly. 12 princes shall he beget, and I will make him a great nation. But my covenant will I establish with Isaac, which Sarah will bear unto thee at this set time in the next year. Okay, so the covenant went to Isaac. The point I'm making is the Israelites and the Hamites are two separate nations. Now, going back to Genesis chapter 10, this is Genesis 10 and 15, and Canaan begot Zidon. And the reason I'm mentioning Zidon is and Canaan begot Zidon, his firstborn. Okay? Because when you go to Joel, who put us in slavery? The Lord say he will recompense Zidon, okay? Which is Canaan's first son. This is important, man. Okay? Because these are the Hamites, the so-called Africans today are Hamites, man. We are not Hamites, we are Israelites. We come out of the line of Shem. Another important thing, when after the lineages from Shem, Ham, and Japheth play out after the Lord confounded them in Genesis the 11th chapter, right? Genesis 11 and Genesis 11 and 9. After the Lord scattered the nations, right? He said he confounded the languages. He confounded the languages, but guess what? The Israelites still spoke Hebrew, man. Okay? Everybody was of one language, but the Lord confounded them. But he left in the chosen line, in the lineage, right, which Yahweh was going to come from, he left the Hebrew there, man. Now, when you go to Genesis chapter 12, this is all about Abraham, okay? From Genesis 12 to Genesis 25, when Isaac had Esau and Jacob, this is all about the line of Hebrews, man, okay? This has nothing to do with Ham, okay? So after Genesis 12, this is about the Hebrew Israelites or the Hebrews, because Jacob wasn't born yet, okay? Whose name was changed Israel. So jumping back in Genesis 18, now back in Genesis 21. But my covenant will I Genesis 18 and 21, Genesis 17 and 21. But my covenant will I establish with Isaac, which Sarah shall bear unto thee at this set time in the next year. Okay? So the Lord had Abraham to impregnate Sarah. Okay? This is going through lineage, man. Lineage. Okay? To prove that we are not Hamites, man. We Israelites. Now, the Lord told Abraham, right? Well, Abraham, matter of fact, let me read it. Let me find it real quick. Let me see. I'm trying to find the verse when Abraham told his servant um to go get his son a wife. To go get his son a wife, as a matter of fact, to come. And he told him, don't go to the Canaanites. Let me see. So like you bear with me for a minute. And I was just reading it, man. Okay, so Genesis 21. Okay. Now this way it get back at so Genesis 21, it said, and the Lord visited Sarah as he had said, and the Lord, this is Genesis 21 and 1. And the Lord Yahweh visited Sarah as he had said, and the Lord Yahweh did unto Sarah as he had spoken. For Sarah conceived and bare Abraham a son in his old age at the set time of which power had spoken to him, right? So Sarah had Isaac. Now, we all know the story that Abraham had to let Hagar and Ishmael go, man, because the Lord had told Abraham, which I read to you in Genesis 17, 20 and 21, that Ishmael wasn't going to get the covenant, but the covenant was going to go to Isaac. Okay. So in Genesis 21 and 1, after Sarah had Isaac, the Lord made a covenant that went to Isaac. So this is what Abraham told his I'm looking for the verse. I'm looking for the verse. Abraham told his servant. Okay, here you go. This is Genesis 24. And the point I'm making that Isaac Abraham told Isaac, "Don't get away from Canaan, man. Okay, because we have people really believe today that we are from the from the line of Canaan, from Hamites, man. We are not damn Africans, man. Okay, so this is Genesis 24. And Abraham was old and well stricken in age, and the Lord Yahweh had blessed Abraham in all things. And Abraham said unto his eldest servant of his house that ruled over all that he had, Put, I pray thee, thy hand under my thigh, and I will make thee swear by the Lord Yahweh, the power of heaven and the power of the earth, that thou shalt not take a wife unto my son of the daughters of the Canaanites among whom I dwell. So Abraham telling his servant, listen, go get my son a wife. Don't go to Canaanites, man. Okay? The Lord told Noah to curse Canaan, right? Told he told him a curse be Canaan, right? So the Canaanites was cursed, man. Now, what did I say? What did it tell you in Genesis 10 that Ham first son, or that Canaan first son was Zidon, okay? Canaan first son was Zidon. It was the one that sold us to these Edomites, right? So Abraham told his servant, don't get my son a wife from the Canaanites. Now, I'm just fast forwarding to get you to understand where I'm going with this. Now, this is after Isaac got a wife, which was Rebecca, right? This is what Abraham told his servant. Don't go get a wife from Canaan. He said, but thou shalt go unto my country, until my kindred, and take a wife unto my son Isaac. Right? So he went to Abraham line, right? So when you read fast forwarding, I'm fast forwarding to get you to understand this is about the Ishmael, and this is about the Israelites and the Hamites, and we are not from Ham, man. Okay? So understanding from Genesis 10, when Ham had his sons, right? Cush, Mizraim, Put, and Canaan. Canaan had a son, Zidon, right? Which who put us in, who sold us to the Edomites. This is what I'm trying to prove, trying to show you that we are not Hamites. If you follow the lineage, when you start at Genesis 12, man, the lineage is all it's talking about Hebrews. They go from Abraham from Genesis 12 to Genesis 25. This is all about Abraham and his chosen seed. Okay, it had Ham is left back in Genesis 11 chapter 10 chapter, man. Okay, when the Lord separated them in Genesis 11 chapter, when he confounded languages, Abraham and his lineage spoke Hebrew. Okay, now this is Genesis 28. This is Genesis 28 and verse 1. Now, Abraham told his servants, don't get my son Isaac a wife from Canaanite. Isaac told Jacob the same thing, man. This is Genesis 28 and 1. And Isaac called Jacob and blessed him and charged him and said unto him, Thou shalt not take a wife of the daughters of Canaan. Now I had my aunt husband tell me that we come from Ham, and I was arguing back and forth with him that we don't come from Ham, man. Okay, Exodus 11:7. The Lord put a difference between the Egyptians and the Israelites, and we know the Egyptians, their biblical name is Mizraim, man. Okay, which are the sons of Ham, a son of Ham. This is Genesis 28 and 1. And Isaac called Jacob and blessed him and charged him and said unto him, Thou shalt not take a wife of the daughters of Canaan. Arise, go to Pandaram, to the house of Bethuel, thy mother's father, and take a wife from thence of the daughters of Laban, thy mother's brother. Okay? Now, when you jump to verse 6, now again, and Isaac, this is verse 5, and Isaac sent away Jacob, and he went to Pandaram unto Laban, the son of Bethuel, the Syrian. And that's why when you read Deuteronomy 23 and 7, when they say, thou shalt not abhor Edomite, it's talking about Syrian, man. Okay? It don't supposed to say Edomite there. They changed that. Okay? It tell you when you look it up in the blue letter, it was a clerical error, man. Okay, that's why I tell you right here. And Isaac sent away Jacob, and he went to Pandaram unto Laban, the son of Bethuel, the Syrian. When you read Deuteronomy 23 and 7, it say, thou shalt not abhor an Edomite. That's talking about Syrian, man. Because those are our brothers, man. Okay? That's another lineage of Hebrews, man. Now reading on, it said when Esau saw that Isaac had blessed Jacob and sent him away to Pandaram to take him a wife from thence, and that as he blessed, it's saying that as he blessed him, he gave him a charge saying, thou shalt not take a wife of the daughters of Canaan. We have nothing to do with the Hamites, man. Okay. Now, like I read, Canaan had a son named Zidon, man. When you go to Joel, which I'm going to go there, but I'm proving that we had nothing to do with the Canaanites. Now let's say verse 7, Genesis 28 and 7, and that Jacob obeyed his father and his mother and was gone to Pandaram, and Esau seeing that Esau seeing that the daughters of the Canaan pleased not Isaac his father. Then when Esau went to Ishmael and took unto the wives which he had, right? So but later on, it tell you that Esau, that's why the Lord say in Genesis in Psalms 50, what has thou to do to declare my statutes, seeing thy hatest instruction? Because Isaac told Jacob, don't get a wife from Canaan. Esau heard it, man. What did he do? He still went and got two wives from Canaan, man. Okay? Because obviously he was trying to get his pigment back. But he went outside, their father told them don't do that, man. That's why the Lord say you can't follow instructions. They was created to be the wicked. But showing you right here, Abraham told his servant, don't get my son Isaac a wife from Canaanites. Isaac told Jacob, don't get a wife from the Canaanites. We don't have nothing to do with the Canaanites, man. Our lineage, you got some people always talking about, well, Shem, Ham, and Japheth all come from Noah. True, but they are three progenitors, man, okay, of three different nations, man. That's what people don't understand. Just like when Isaac had Esau and Jacob, they are two separate nations, man. It tell you that if you read Genesis 25, man. Okay? Matter of fact, Genesis 25 and verse 24, 23. Let me start at 22. And the children struggled together within her, and she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord. And the Lord said unto her, two nations are in thy womb, and two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. When Noah had his three sons from the same woman, they was three nations separated from our bowels. Just like right here with Esau and Jacob, man. Okay? Shem, Ham, and Japheth are three separate nations, man. Just like Esau and Jacob is two separate nations. We don't come from Ham, we come from Shem, man. If you read the lineage, that's the problem with Jake. They don't want to damn read, man. If you don't read, because it got so many names, you won't get to understand it, man. You have to read these nations, man. Now, my point is, Canaan had a son named Zidon, right? Now, I just proved to you that Abraham told his servant, don't get his son Isaac a wife from Canaanites. Isaac told Jacob, don't get a wife from Canaan. Okay? Period. So, understanding, we don't come from Ham. Now, when you jump, I read Exodus 11:7. The Lord put a difference between the Egyptians and the Israelites, right? Why the hell would the Egyptians have their peoples in slavery? The 12 tribes of Israel was in slavery under the Pharaoh. Now, when you go to Joel, let's go to Joel chapter 3, right? Now again, Canaan had a son named Zidon, right? This is Joel chapter 3, and I'm gonna start at verse 1. And it reads, For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down in the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage, Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. They have cast lots for my people and have given a boy for an harlot and sold a girl for wine that they may drink. Yeah, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon? Zidon is the son of Canaan. And all the coast of Palestine, will you render me a recompense? And if you recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head? Because you have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temple my good and pleasant things. The Lord is talking to the Hamites for selling Israelites into slavery. Now, this is Amos chapter 1 and verse 6. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, for 3 transgressions of Gaza, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because thou carried away captive the whole captivity to deliver them up to Edom. Okay? Now let's see who Gaza is. When you go back, hey, that's why this scripture is beautiful, man. When you go back to Genesis, this is Genesis chapter 10 and verse 19, right? It say, and the border of the Canaanites was from Zidon, as thou comest to Gerar, unto Gaza, as thou goest unto Sodom and Gomorrah and Ammon and Ammon, and it say, and Zeboim, even unto Lashar. The point is, this is Genesis 10 and 19, and the borders of the Canaanites were from Zidon, as thou comest to Gerar, unto Gaza. Now, when you go back to Amos 1 and 6, again, it say, thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Gaza, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because they carried away captive the whole captivity to deliver them up to Edom. Who is this Gaza? It tell you that Zidon, man, the Hamites, right? It say, but I will send a fire on the wall of Gaza, which shall devour the palaces thereof. Now, when you go to verse 9, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, for 3 transgressions of Tyrus, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because they delivered up the whole captivity to Edom, and remember not the brotherly covenant. Listen, man, these Hamites sold you to the Edomites, man. Okay? The scriptures clearly tell you that they sold you to the Edomites, man. That's why the Lord say constantly in these scriptures, man, the Lord is going to recompense Edom and Ham, man. Moab and Ammon too. Okay? But this is to prove we are not Hamites, man. We are Israelites. The Hamites sold you in slavery, and you got Jake still today pushing this madness. And the scriptures clearly tell you, man, the Lord put a difference between Israelites and Hamites. As a matter of fact, I'm going to read it again. This is Exodus 11:7, and it reads, but against any of the children of Israel should not a dog move his tongue, against man or beast, that ye may know how that the Lord Yahweh do put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel. Okay? We are two separate nations, man. Going back again, Genesis chapter 10 and verse 6. And the sons of Ham, Cush, and Mizraim, and Put and Canaan. Verse 15. And Canaan begat Zidon, his firstborn. Okay? These are the same devils that put us in slave, that sold us in slavery, man. Okay? Now, how do we get into Africa in the first place? Let's read that, man. This is Luke. See, that's the problem, because our people believe that our civilization started with slavery, man. No, man. Okay? It didn't, man. This is Luke 21, and I'm going to start at verse 20. And it reads, and when ye shall see Jerusalem, this is how we got into Africa in the first place. You people don't read, man. Okay? You have been destroyed by Roman Catholicism and you don't read, man. This is Luke 21 and 20. And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. What desolation? The destruction of Jerusalem, man. Okay? Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let not them that are in the countries enter thereinto. But these be the days of vengeance. When did this start happening? From 65 AD, 70 AD, man. When the Romans came and destroyed Jerusalem, man. Okay? Who? The Edomites, man. It said, for these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. What? That the Edomites was going to take over our land, man. Okay? And it is going to be trodden down until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled, which I'm going to read. This is Luke 21 and 22. But these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. But woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. Right? When you go to Kings, it tell you that the reading the Lord say, but woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. Because what happened, man? You had two women. They was ready to cook. One woman actually, they cooked the woman child, man. Okay, boiled it, baked it, whatever they did, they ate the child, man. So the Lord say, woe to them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. And this is coming back too, man. It's gonna happen again in this time when it's gonna be a famine out here, when Jacob trouble hit, and these people gonna be eating their kids, man. Okay, because the Lord says nothing new under the sun. But the point I'm making, but there shall be great distress in the land and wrath upon these people, and they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations. Hey, Shalom, Mark. Yahabashim Awashah, Bashem Rukakodash, Brakatham. Romans 9 and 4, right? Con. So Luke 21, and back in 23, it said, but woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days, but there shall be great distress in the land, and wrath upon this people, and they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations, and Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled. Right? So understanding, we had to run into Africa, man. We scatter everywhere, man. The Lord say right here, then when you see, it say, then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains. Okay? So we ran everywhere, man. Jake was scattered everywhere. But most Jake ran into Africa, man. Okay? That's how we get in Africa in the first place. Jake believed that our civilization started with damn slavery, man. Okay? We was in Jerusalem, man. When you go to Psalm 79 and 1, it tell you plainly, man. It's a Psalm 79 verse 1. O power, the heathen are coming to thy inheritance. The holy temple have they defiled. They have laid Jerusalem on heaps, right? When you go to Isaiah chapter 1, verse 7, it's saying the same thing, man. Isaiah chapter 1, verse 7. Your country is desolate, your cities are burned with fire, your land strangers devour it in your presence, and it is desolate as overthrown by strangers. Okay? How did they get that land? We had to flee out of there when the Romans took us down, man. Okay? During 65 to 70 AD. So we had to leave that land, and a lot of people got besieged, man. Okay, when you go to Act Kings, let me see if I can find that real quick. I think it's Second Kings. Second Kings. Let me pull it up. Second Kings 6. See if I can find it real quick. Salaki. You find it real quick. Cause when he said that but woe to them that give suck in those days. Salaki, 1 minute. I know I was there. I don't know why. Second Kings. This is Second Kings Salakia. Salakia. This is Second Kings 6 and 29. I overlooked it. Oh yeah, I got it highlighted. Second Kings 6 and 29, right? So what I was reading in Luke 21, when they say and woe to her that be with child and give suck in those days, because this is what happened during 70 AD, and also happened with Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuchadnezzar did the same thing, man, when they besieged it, right? So this is Second Kings 6 and almost 26. Matter of fact, I'm gonna start at 25. And there was a great famine in Samaria, and behold, they besieged it until an ass, until an ass's head was sold for 80 pieces of silver, and the fourth part of a calf of dove's dung for 5 pieces of silver. Hey, that's crazy, man. You're eating shit, man. It's saying, and it's cold. And as the king of Israel was passing upon the wall, there cried a woman unto him, saying, help, my lord, O king. And he said, if the Lord do not help thee, whence shall I help thee? Out of the barn floor or out of the winepress? And the king said unto her, What ailed thee? And she answered, This woman said unto me, Give thy son that we may eat him today, and we will eat my son tomorrow. So we bought my son. Amen. This right here, this is coming back, man. And we bore my son and did eat him. And I said unto her on the next day, Give thy son that we may eat him. And she had hid her son. And it came to pass when the king heard the words of the woman that he rent his clothes and he passed by upon the wall. And the people looked, and behold, he had sackcloth within upon his flesh. So this is coming again, man. Okay, this is coming again, man. Because the Lord said this prophecy, there's nothing new on the sun. That which was shall be again. And he required that which is past, man. So bringing that out to prove that in Luke 21, he said, when you see armies come past Jerusalem, flee ye into the mountains. That's how we got into Africa, man. We had to leave our homeland, man. Okay? And we had to go blend in with these Hamites. But guess what, man? Them devils sold you for what? Let's go back to it. Joel, man. This is Joel chapter 3. This is Joel 3. Joel 3 and verse 3. And they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for an harlot, and sold a girl for wine, that they may drink. They say, yeah, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coast of Palestine? Will you render me a recompense? If you will recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head? Because you have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem, northern and southern kingdom, have ye sold to the Grecians. Who are the Grecians, man? The Edomites. That ye may remove them far from their borders. Okay? That's why we are not in our homeland today. Now, let's prove who the Grecians is. When you go to, let me see what that is. Zechariah chapter 9. This is Zechariah chapter 9 and verse 13. And it reads, When I have bent Judah for me and filled the bow of Ephraim, that's when the Lord going to bring back the northern and southern kingdom. He said, this is Zechariah chapter 9, verse 13. When I have bent Judah for me, filled the bow with Ephraim, and raised up the sons of Zion against thy sons, O Greece. Okay? Didn't it say in Joel that they sold Judah and Jerusalem to the Grecians? That's why it said right here, when I have bent Judah for me, filled the bow with Ephraim, and raised up thy sons, O Zion. Zion is you so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans. Against thy sons, O Greece, and made thee as a sword of a mighty man. So the Lord is finna, hey, he finna recompense you Hamites. That's why I read to you in Amos. Read it again. Amos chapter 1 and verse 6. Thus said the Lord Yahweh, for 3 transgressions of Gaza, and for 4, and I read to you in Genesis the 10th chapter that Gaza is a part of Zidon, man. Okay? Them Hamites. Thus said the Lord Yahweh, for 3 transgressions of Gaza, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because they carried away the captive, the whole captivity of who? You so-called Negroes, man. Okay? Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, man. Okay? Because they carried away captive the whole captivity to deliver them up to Edom. Okay? Verse 9 said the same thing. Thus saith the Lord, Amos 1 and 9. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, for 3 transgressions of Tyrus, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because they delivered up the whole captivity to Edom. You gave us to the Edomites, man. For what? Muzzleload guns, cheap rum and wine, man. Okay? You devils got to pay for that, man. And proving we are not from the nation of Ham, man. We Israelites, man. The scripture clearly tell you, if you read, you see we are from the nation of Israel, man. Okay? The Lord put a distinction, and you can go to the book, um, the Bible dictionary, man. The Zondervan Bible dictionary. Okay? It tell you that Ham is not the father of the Negroes, man. But we don't even got to go to that because the scriptures tell you the same thing, man. Okay? Without going through that. When you go through the lineage, okay, when you go to verse 12, man, it tell you, oh, matter of fact, that's where I was going at. So we know Abraham had Isaac, right? Abraham was a Hebrew, man. When you go back to Genesis, Genesis chapter 11, it tell you that Abraham's father was who, man? And read again, Genesis 11:26. And Terah lived 70 years and begot Abram. Okay, Noah and Haran. Now, when you go back to Genesis chapter 11 and verse um 15, and it say, and Salah lived after he begat Eber 403 years and begat sons and daughters. And Eber lived 34 years and begat Peleg, man. Okay, all the way to Abraham, man. Eber is what? Hebrew, man. Okay, now this is what I want to bring out too. This is Genesis, and we know Abraham had Ishmael, and the Lord told him right here, I'm gonna read it again. This is Genesis 17:20. As for Ishmael, I have heard thee. Behold, I have blessed him and will make him fruitful and will multiply him exceedingly. 12 princes shall he beget, and I will make him a great nation. Verse 21. But my covenant will I establish with Isaac, which Sarah shall bear to thee at this set time in the next year. Now, we know Isaac had Jacob and Esau, right? And the Lord said what? He chose Jacob, man. Now let's read this. This is Genesis 29. And I ain't gonna read all of it about Rachel and Leah. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go to Genesis 29, and I'm gonna start at 31. And when the Lord saw that Leah was hated, he opened her womb, but Rachel was barren. Verse 32. And Leah conceived, this when Jacob had two sisters, Leah and Rachel, and Leah conceived and bare a son, and she called his name Reuben, for she said, surely the Lord Yahweh have looked upon my affliction, not therefore my husband will love me. And she conceived again and bare a son, and said, because the Lord Yahweh have heard I was hated, he have therefore given me this son also. And she called his name Simeon. And she conceived again and bare a son, and said, now this time will my husband be joined unto me, because I have borne him three sons. Therefore was his name called Levi. And she conceived again and bare a son, and she said, now will I praise the Lord Yahweh. Therefore she called his name Judah and left barren. What is Judah in the Hebrew? Yahweh, man. Okay? Yahweh thanks, or thanks Yahweh. Listen, now, when you read Genesis 29 from 31, right, to 35, then you read Genesis chapter 30 from 30, Genesis chapter 30 from 30 to 28, right? You get all the lineage, all 12 sons. When you read right here, matter of fact, I'm going to read this one. This is Genesis chapter 30 and verse 18. And Leah said, God hath given me my hire, because I have given my maiden to my husband. and she called his name Issachar, which mean what? For hire, man. That's the nomen for Issachar, man, for hire. That's who taking all the jobs right now, man. Hey, if this ain't spiritual, I don't know what is, man. But the point is, these 12 sons of Isaac, right? This is prophecy, man. When you go to Deuteronomy 28, this is what it say, man. This is how we know we are not the Hamites, man. The Hamites ain't have no curses on them, man. The Lord said, what? Amos 3:1. Hear this word that the Lord Yahweh have spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt. Okay? Saying, you only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore, I will punish you for all your iniquities. Let's go to Genesis 28 and pull a couple. Genesis 28, and the main one I like to get, 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies, which the Lord Yahweh shall send against thee in hunger, food, and in thirst, water, and in nakedness, clothes, and in the want of all things, housing, job, transportation. That's everything, man. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. Okay? Verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. By the whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. See what? Our land, man. We haven't seen Israel since, man. And there you shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall redeem you. That word buy right here means to be redeemed. Okay? That's why Luke chapter 1 and 68 clearly tells you just like this. Blessed be the Lord Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua, power of Israel, for he have visited and redeemed his people. When you go to Lamentation, let's go to Lamentation real quick. Lamentation chapter 5 and verse see, Lamentation 5 and Lamentation 5 and 8. Servants have ruled over us. There is none that doeth deliver us out of their hand. Who is Yahweh Shah? Our Redeemer, our Deliverer, man. Okay? Now, like it said in Deuteronomy 28 and 68, that you shall be sold to your enemy for bondmen and bondwomen. Right? What does it say in Hosea, man? I mean, in Joel. Got to go back to it again. It's Joel 3 and 3. And they shall cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for an harlot, and sold a girl for wine, that they may drink. Okay? The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have you sold unto the Grecians, that you may remove them far from their border. What does Deuteronomy 26:8 just said? Thou shalt see it no more again. You remove them far from their border, man. It's impossible that the Israelites are Hamites, man. It's impossible, man. And it's much history, it's much research. That's the problem with Jake, man. They don't do research, they don't search out history, man. Okay? Hey, Shalom, sister. Shalom, sister. Shalom, brother Dwayne Thomas. Shalom. Hey, Shalom to all the Akim and the Aqua from the comment board. I'll pray to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah Bashim Kakadash. Rock a thumb. So just proving, man, we are not Africans. We are so-called Africans. They are Hamites, man. And they tell you that Canaan's son was Zidon, man. And Zidon sold us, man, to these Edomites. Okay? All these nations got to pay, man. Okay, what I tell you in what is that? Isaiah 25 and verse 7, as a matter of fact. It's Isaiah 25 and 7. And he will destroy in this mountain the face of the covering cast over all people, and the veil that is spread over all nations. And the Lord is doing that, man. He has done it. That's why I was saying that camp Saturday that the breaches, when it tell you in Amos 9, when the Lord say He's gonna build up the tabernacle of David and close up the breaches thereof. The breaches are closed because we are not ignorant of Satan's devices, right? The Lord has raised up the elect, whosoever they is, the hopeful elect. They know, man, you can't deceive the elect no more. As a matter of fact, this is Second Corinthians, and this is the problem with 2/3 of Israel, man, and they ain't gonna get it. This is Second Corinthians. Second Corinthians chapter 3. Yeah, Second Corinthians chapter 3, verse 14. This is the problem with 2/3 of Israel right today. Second Corinthians chapter 3, verse 14. But their minds were blinded, for until this day remaineth the same veil untaken away in the reading of the Old Testament, which veil is done away in Hamashiach only to who? The elect. But even until this day, when Moses is read, the veil is upon their heart, man. They can't see it. They still is blind to this day. That same veil. They can't get it. Again, 2 Corinthians 3 and 14. But their minds were blinded, for until this day remaineth the same veil untaken away in the reading of the Old Testament, man. If you don't understand where the hell we came from, how the hell you gonna know where we going, man? The prophecy tell you that we went into slavery because we, let's read it, man. This is Micah chapter 7, verse 9. And it reads, I will bear the indignation of the Lord because I have sinned against him until he plead my cause and execute judgment for me. He will bring me forth to the light, and I shall behold his righteousness. Again, Micah 7 and 9. I will bear the indignation of the Lord because I have sinned against him, man. Okay? When you go to Job, let's go to Job real quick. This is Job 34 and 29. When he giveth quietness, who then can make trouble? And when he hideth his face, who then can behold him? Whether it be done against a nation or against a man only, man. Okay? We sin against the Lord as a nation, man. Okay? The Lord is judging us, man. We was moved far from our border because we broke his covenant. As a matter of fact, let me go to that. I don't want to make this too long, but this is Exodus 24, and it reads. I'm gonna start at 2. Matter of fact, I'm gonna start at 1. And he said unto Moses, come up unto the Lord Yahweh, thou and Aaron and Nadab, they say, and Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Israel, and worship ye afar off. And Moses alone came near the Lord Yahweh, but they shall not come nigh, neither shall the people go up with him. And Moses came and told the people all the words of the Lord, and all the judgment, and all the people answered with one voice and said, all the words which the Lord Yahweh have said, we will do. This is my point. Israel made agreement. They agreed with the Lord, man. And Moses wrote all the words of the Lord and rose up early in the morning and built an altar under the hill and 12 pillars according to the 12 tribes of Israel. Where you other nations at in that, man? Okay, where you other nations at? This had nothing to do with you, man. And he sent young men of the children of Israel, which offer burnt offerings and sacrifice peace offerings of oxen unto the Lord Yahweh. And Moses took half of the blood and put it in the basin, and half of the blood he sprinkled on the altar. And he took the book of the covenant and read it in the audience of the people, and they said, all that the Lord Yahweh have said, we will do and be obedient. Israel agreed to it, man. And guess what? They break it, man. And Moses took the blood and sprinkled it on the people and said, behold, the blood of the covenant which the Lord Yahweh have made with you and concerning all these words. Let's go to Leviticus real quick, 26 and 46. And it reads, Leviticus 26 and 46. These are the statutes and judgments and laws which the Lord Yahweh made between him and the children of Israel in Mount Sinai by the hand of Moses. Now, when you go to First John, he said he made these are the laws, statutes, and judgments, his commandments that he made between him and the children of Israel on Mount Sinai by the hand of Moses. Now, when you go to First John chapter 3 and verse 4, it reads, whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law. For sin is transgression of the law. Leviticus 26 and 46 says the laws are given to who? You so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. West Indian and Haitians. So if the laws are given to you, how the hell can anybody else sin, man? Everybody else is free to do whatever they want to do, man. But you are under the law, man. This is now we have to follow that to the best of our ability. This is Romans 7 and 1. Know ye not, brethren, for I speak to them that know the law, how that the law have dominion over a man as long as he liveth. Okay? This is our book, man. This is our history. This is our everything, man. This is our heritage. This is our inheritance, man. It has nothing to do with Edomites, Hamites, Moabites, Ammonites, Elamites, nothing, man. This is our book, man. Okay? You must walk as such, man. That's why, as it is today, right now, we are still under the covenant. We are still under the curses, Salakia. We still under the curses until Yahweh shall redeem us, man. Okay? Hey, so I didn't want to make that too long, but I'm gonna say this again. My page was shut down for 2 weeks. They shut down my page for 2 weeks. So just in case it happened again, my other page is your redemption draweth nigh. Okay, and I'm gonna keep saying that in all my other videos. Your redemption draweth nigh is my second page, just in case they shut it down again. So Lord, witness edifying, gotta give all praise to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who rule well, who teach well, and a sincere salutation to all the Akim pushing this truth throughout the four ends of the earth, waiting on the hope for the elect. I'm gonna read this brother precept. This is Romans chapter 9 and verse 4. I'm gonna start at 1. I say the truth in Hamashiach, I lie not. My cuts also bear me witness in the Holy Ghost, in the Holy Spirit, that I have great heaviness and continuous sorrow in my heart. For I could wish that myself were accursed from Hamashiach for my brethren, my kinsmen, according to the flesh, who are Israelites, to whom pertains the adoption and the glory and the covenants and the giving of the law and the service of power and the promises, who are the fathers, and of whom, as concerning the flesh, Hamashiach came, who is over all power, blessed forever. Amen. Not as though the word of power have taken none effect, but they are not all Israel which are of Israel. And this telling you right here, when it say, but they are not all Israel which are of Israel, that's letting you know this is only for the Israelites. Okay? That's letting you know right there. All of Israel can't even get it. So how the hell heathen nations can come into this? Neither because they are the seed of Abraham are they all children, but in Isaac shall thy seed be called. Now they're gonna say, "Oh, well, Isaac had Esau and Jacob." Okay, you're right. That is, they which are the children of the flesh. These are not the children of power, but the children of the promise are counted for the seed. It say, who are Israelites, to whom pertain the adoption and the covenant, and the giving of the law and the service and the promises. Only you so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans have the covenant, man. It said, for this is the word of promise at this time when I come, and Sarah shall have a son. And you can read that in Genesis, what is that, chapter 18? Let me see, just to make sure. Genesis 18. Genesis 18 and 10. And he said, I will certainly, let me read 9. And they said unto him, where is Sarah thy wife? And he said, behold, in the tent. And he said, I will certainly return unto thee according to the time of life. And lo, Sarah thy wife shall have a son. And Sarah heard it in the tent door, which was behind him. So back in Romans 9 and verse 10 and 9. And for this is the word of promise. At this time will I come, and Sarah shall have a son. This was written in Genesis, man. Okay? This is for you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. Okay, so with that, I will pray to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shah, Bahashim Rakak Wadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who well, who teach well, and a sincere salutation to all the ark and pushing their truth throughout the four winds of the earth, the entire world, waking up the hopeful elect. Shalom to the Akwa who are listening and learning. The few sisters who are listening and learning. Shalom.